Hello people, it's me Jess, here with another reading. Hello and welcome to my channel. Hello if you were watching this on Patreon early. We are doing the soul focus reading for June. This is a reading where we try and pull ourselves back from the material world, see our lives and its happenings through our spiritual lens, and try and understand what our soul is working on through the month of June. So I've got 3 piles here: pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. I'll go ahead and put the picture up if you want to look at that. Otherwise, I will see you at your reading. Okay, pile number 1, what is your soul focus for June? Oh my gosh, there's so much here. I feel like June could be possibly a busy month here for you guys, or there's just a lot that's going on, but it even could feel slow going here at times because I'm not sure I'm entirely getting the full breadth of this. Hopefully we'll get more as we move on, but look at all this pentacle energy that's coming through here in the middle. So I feel like a lot of you guys, like the soul focus that you have for June, it's more of your soul's like longer term goals. And I feel like you've been working on this here in the past. So it feels like kind of a hot spot for you here in the month of Cancer. I want to say Cancer season, like so June definitely into July and maybe even some of August, because I'm wondering if pile number 1 is going to spill over into pile number 2 since we have this kind of run from Cancer into Leo. But we'll just have to see. If you were drawn to that second pile as well, definitely do that one, because immediately what's coming to mind for your soul focus is that your soul is actually very much concerned with what's happening for yourself in the mundane material sphere of your life, possibly even to do with finances, to do with assets and things like that. Because I feel like some of you guys, like, you're wanting to take steps or you're wanting to make a change, but it's not like a 180 or any, well, there's big change kind of with your personhood and maybe even your appearance. But what I'm doing a really bad job of explaining is, okay, so Cancer is a really interesting place in the zodiac, and it is divine priest energy. And usually these people are very intuitive. They're very tapped into like this primordial spiritual energy. And at the same time, it's in Cancer where the soul really is trying to take its first very conscious steps into the material world. But in a Cancer energy, and you don't have to be a Cancer, this is just how the cards kind of talk with me, is I feel like you could be doing that where you're trying to take some very conscious steps here in the material world. But at the same time, I feel like you're really high-minded people and you have taken time to develop yourself in a spiritual way, in a moral way, and you think about bringing that with you like into the material world. So it's very much a concern of yours, like how it is that you are conducting yourself in the material world. Does that make sense? But you know that you need to kind of take these steps because you're looking right here at this freedom card. I possess the power and the free will to create my own happiness. And I almost wanted to read happiness as business. So some of you guys, like, this has to do with business, you're making a career move, or maybe even starting up your own business, because there's also a skill set that you have. I feel like you're very skillful people and you want more control over the way that your skills are being utilized in the world. And I feel like this is exactly where you are supposed to be. Honestly, pile number 1, like this is honestly pretty intense energy. So I feel like with this freedom, though, it's more of like a freedom of the heart. Honestly, I feel like you guys want happiness, but it's almost like you realize there's no way to get there without taking some kind of steps, making some kind of moves here in the material world. You're very much aware that you don't want that to be the focus for yourself. So one big thing that's coming through is that your soul is focused on the material and the mundane. I say this all the time, but like every single element is spiritual. It's not just when you're sitting at the church pew, and singing and praying, that is a spiritual moment. It's everything in life is meant to be a spiritual moment, right? That's what I believe. And I feel like that's kind of what you believe too. And I feel like I almost don't even need to remind you of that, because for some of you guys, I feel like this could be almost getting in your way where, like you don't want to mess up. You want to be absolutely perfect, because I feel like you feel that a lot is riding on this. Like whatever is going on in the month of June, it has the potential to have like some kind of long-term implications for you. Especially there's something here about like your financial stability in the material world that impacts your inner self state. And this is not even bad. This is like Maslow's pyramid, right? The lower deficiency needs, as they're called at the base of the pyramid, it has to do with safety and security and, your physiological needs and love and belonging, all of that. And so it feels like you're dealing heavily in that base pyramid. Not that you've been doing bad, but there's almost like this, because like that it could impact you for the long term, you want to do things really perfect. And I don't know why this happens, but whenever I read stuff, I feel like it ends up showing up in the reading. I've been reading this book. It's called How to Be an Imperfectionist by Stephen Guise. I just had to look who the author is. It's really been helping me, because he talks about like having these perfectionist tendencies can really end up like clamming you up and holding you back in your life. And I feel like maybe that's kind of what's going on here. So I just want to jump up here to your advice really quick though, because this is really, speaking of the tortoise and the hare. Remember that story from when we were kids? It's like, and I don't remember the specifics, but yeah, everybody thinks the hare is going to win because the hare is faster. But the hare takes off and eventually ends up, I think, in the garden and eats a bunch of carrots because that's what he wants to do. Well, then his stomach is really full, and then, he goes and takes a nap under the tree. Well, the whole while, the tortoise just stays focused on his long-term goal, and takes slow, steady, methodical steps towards that goal. So I feel like that's your advice here. And for the month of June, I would never tell anyone to like bridle themselves or something. But there is something here where it's like, don't let yourself be goaded into anything with the Knight of Wands, because the small energy wants to overtake the large energy here, whatever that means to you, because there's a lot of traditional energy here. You got a family of origin, you've got traditional energy, you've got fatherhood energy, you've got your early home life represented here, childhood, past, nostalgia. So there's this really beautiful energy that's going on here in this spread, where it's like you are like almost recalling, which makes a lot of sense because we have these 3 retrograde planets that are going to be happening in June: Mercury retrograde, Saturn, and Pluto. Really good time for reflecting, and I feel like that's exactly what you're doing here. And at the same time, you're considering like your long-term goals, and you have that very long-term view. So in the past, it looks to me like you have built something up and it's valuable, and you find it to be very valuable here as well too. So it's almost like you don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater as you move here into the central focus of the month, which is the 6 of Pentacles. And I feel like some of you guys could be life path 6s, or you just have a real focus on being of service and being of help. And some of you guys, your cup does runneth over, but it's almost like you're scared to make whatever this big change is. A lot of you with the Page of Cups, maybe you feel like you're seen as someone who is like jovial, but what am I trying to say? Like the jester, someone who like kind of picks up the mood, but it's ultimately like a benign kind of an energy. Like you're definitely not disliked at all, but maybe you feel like sometimes people don't really take you seriously, or not as seriously as that you can be taken, because like I said, you have some kind of strong skills here. I feel like this is a group, and we've been getting this energy Shadabahishak, and to me it's in Aquarius. It associates with Sagittarius. We've also got Cancer, Gemini, and Aries and Taurus energy. I know it's a lot of them, but we've got all those energies really represented here. And especially with the Shadabahishak, Varuna is the god that rules over that energy and deals with very much law, justice, which you have like kind of, tradition, but at the same time, like deals heavily with the underworld. And I feel like you have that energy where you want to transform maybe your personal identity, you want to transform your career identity, you want to make a big transformation where you're almost unrecognizable from the person that you were before. Again, not that this person is bad. It's definitely not. The Page of Cups is like funny, joking. It's like happy energy, creative energy, and benign. It's like kind of benign. And I feel like you want to be seen as someone who has deep knowledge, who is a deep diver, who who is very powerful, who helps people with their transformation. I feel like you have teacher energy, because this is what Spirit is telling you the energy for you to move into in the month of June, is this teacher energy, ability to communicate knowledge, experience, skill, or wisdom. And regardless of whatever your chosen profession is, I feel like you have that teacher energy where you are really coming through. You're also high-minded, and I don't mean that in a pompous way. Jupiter rules over our higher mind that is able to self-actualize and develop itself through travel and education and experiences. And that's what you seem to have developed. And it's almost like, regardless, again, you could be a painter, you could be whatever, but it's like the way you conduct yourself in the world, those little things every single day of how you are interacting with people, the way you go, that you look at your life, the way that you conduct your affairs, even your monetary affairs, like, it's teaching people. It's so much more holistic. And when I was doing the month reads, which I'm thinking about doing again, but, and you don't have to be a Cancer for this to ring true for you, but whenever I was doing the Cancer monthly readings, a lot of Cancerians, it was clear to me that Spirit was trying to push them into leadership roles where, because Cancer, obviously you've got the 4 of the Emperor, you've got the Emperor, down here. And so I feel like that could be a big theme, honestly, for you, where your Spirit wants to get you into this leadership role. That's a big theme for you guys, is freedom. It's happiness. Like, I feel like you judge success based on your internal happiness and your internal success, and possibly that of a family and feeling safe and feeling protected. And so the decisions that you make very much reflect that, but you do need to deal here in the material world. This is going to work out really, really well for you guys. Pile number 1, it really is. So keep going and keep doing the work. There is something about mentorship. I feel like you are being pushed in the role of mentor, but we all I couldn't do it all alone. We, as Nicki Minaj says, some of you guys are getting some kind of guidance. You're getting some kind of mentorship and some kind of help. In doing this, but I really like where this is ending up. Okay, I just want to say, and pause. A lot of you, June could be very busy. I don't know if I made that clear or if I already said that, because I was thinking it. You could be doing a lot of traveling. Some of you guys, you could be having a baby. And if you're in a relationship, I'm not trying to scare you, but if you are married or you're in a relationship, maybe you do have a little bit more fights, or there has been some kind of discord, or there will be in the month of June. I'm just giving you a heads up on that. But also, some of you, there's a big financial move, or moves, plural, that you're trying to make. And I'm talking the big ones. Some of you are having a baby. Some of you are considering retirement. Some of you are considering buying or selling a home, even buying or selling a vehicle, honestly. Making some kind of a move, signing a contract, making career moves, starting your own business. I mean, we're talking about these big life decisions that you are really wanting to make. Some of you really do want to sign a contract that has to do with something here, where you're a mentor or something like that, or you are a teacher. So in the month of June, though, I feel like it's telling you slow and steady wins the race. It's definitely telling you not to be impulsive towards anything. And all of this, very much, your soul is very focused on the mundane world in the month of June. It really is. And it's reminding you that, hey, everything we do is spiritual. We have to get this right. I think you know that you do, not to put the pressure on you. Because I don't want to feed into any kind of perfectionism that's going on. It's just trusting yourself here. Some of you guys, getting out in nature, really trying to slow down, savoring those moments will help you. I know I just said that I think your month looks to be really busy, but this is Taurus moon energy. So maybe some of you have Taurus moon, but it's just really stable. It really does love to just give to people and make people feel comfortable. It's all about enjoying the good things in life. Some of you probably have very wonderful, stable, down-to-earth, peaceful mothers, even if they were very focused on the material world. So there is definitely something here where having a strong foundation in the material world makes you actually feel really comfortable, and there's really nothing wrong with that. There's also here about something about actions, where it's you're another piece of your soul focus, I think, is to really get solid internally. Again, whether you're working with a therapist or some kind of coach or mentor, because that really is what the spring that's feeding everything else. Because I think there's something about the actions that you want to take. Emotion tints that. You have moon energy, which rules Cancer, right? It's amazing. That moon energy of your internal state, your emotions, your mother, your home life, all of that stuff. And that's known as the seat of power in the chart. Everything comes from this place of that early home home environment, of your current home environment, of your emotional state, right? And you also have strong Mars energy here. You've got the height of Mars at Dhanishta represented here with the Knight of Swords. And Mars debilitates in Cancer. And that's not shade, I have that. So there's something here where like your emotions could make it more difficult for you to make decisions or take some kind of actions. Cancerian energy, it's known for like moving to the side whenever it wants to go after something. But with this Emperor energy here, I feel like you want to go directly towards something. You know, you want to go right after it. But you also, you want to be spiritual. You want to, not be pushy, or you want to embody these like high ideals. But I feel like what the cards are saying is like, you've got to interact with the material world in order to like overcome it. That really, as Cancer moves into Leo, that's kind of the point of Leo. You're dealing all of a sudden there with family, tradition. You're dealing with, you've got the Falgunis in Leo, which are abundant energy. It's like you're kind of gifted that. They're called the hotels. You get a taste of that material life, and then you spend the second round of the zodiac kind of wanting to build that till you turn the corner in Sagittarius. And you really start to focus on spirituality. It's a part of it. But the wisdom of Leo energy, which you're headed into, and I think it's going to be a part of your journey too, is that you have to deal with the material world. You do, in order to like move beyond and move past it. So if that's causing you any kind of a hang up, like going after success in the material world, I don't know that it should, like, or if it's preventing you from taking like more direct steps or something here. But don't be goaded into anything is what I want to say. Like, don't be impulsive. And there's something else here too, where it's like with the Knight of Pentacles, it talks about like focusing on your responsibilities and also being very much independent. And going after something that you're passionate about. Being very eloquent is something like really just like, I don't know, there's something about just being passionate leading to eloquence and intelligence, and speaking from a place of enthusiasm, from a place of experience, is something that I feel like you really should kind of focus on. And that's what's going to purify something here in your life. And it's also going to help like this transformational energy. You want to transform your past, I feel like. And a lot of that, again, it's like this heavy nostalgia energy that's coming through about your family of origin, about the way you've always kind of done things. Because you're at this pivotal moment, pile number one, where it's like you want to make some kind of adjustment that you know is going to carry you through the next phase of whatever it is that your life is. And I feel like you sense the gravity of that. Yeah, with this Knight of Swords energy, there's something here about you guys being healers or teachers or something. And also, some of you, like, well, you're definitely building your destiny. That's what the Three of Pentacles is. And, like, it's synthesizing spiritual energy down into the material world. I feel like that's what you're doing. And I feel like it feels a little bit uncomfortable. And it's also really, really hard to do. I wish I talked about this more in my readings, but that's something that I've read a lot about, where that's a high-level spiritual task, to distill that spiritual energy down into the material world, because you have to bump up against so many different things. And it could be like you have to make decisions, and maybe you feel like you have to make compromises in order to get to the best place. But what's going to come out of this is you are starting to build. I feel like this is strong destiny energy, whatever it is here that, and it's saying that's why it's saying, I think slow and steady wins the race. It's like, you don't have to do everything at once, and you don't have to be perfect. All you have to do is worry about setting this solid foundation, because it's going to probably grow to be bigger than what you think it is. And with the Three of Pentacles, I'm just hearing like, Peter, build my church. Upon this rock, I build my church, and I'm not saying that to make you feel like narcissistic or anything like that. It's just like a fingerprint or a birthday. We all have one that is interesting and unique, and it's special. And when we turn our own lights on, it definitely ripples out into the world. And that is something that is amazing, and it is absolutely to be celebrated, but it's also not something like every single person. Even though our fingerprints might be different, we all have one, And so that's what I'm trying to say is like, it's almost like through you turning on your own light, you're really allowing other people to do that here as well too. And this is, some of you guys, like, there's opportunities coming in, and a lot of you have some kind of destiny here to be in front of a camera and talking about certain things. Like being a mentor to people, being a guide, but it's really like with this teacher energy, ability to communicate knowledge, experience, skill, or wisdom. So some of you are going to be talking about your own experiences. Some of you, it's like your knowledge, your skill set, whatever wisdom that it is that you're bringing. And it's really telling you, like, if you start to get wrapped up in this perfectionism thing, oh, I have got to like be absolutely like on point all the time, just focus on the fact that you like to be of service to people. That actually feeds your soul. That's why you do it. And I'm not like, I'm struggling with this myself. I feel like we are kindred spirits, pile number one. But I just feel like you have some kind of superior knowledge here that you are being asked to give away. And it's like, and that's your place. And I'm almost getting from the Lion King where Mufasa appears in the sky and he's like, Simba, take your place and remember me. That whole like scene. And in mythology, especially when you get into like Bettelheim, like the theory of fairy tales and things like that sun energy is selfhood. So it really is telling you to turn on your own light and become, that's what he says, kings and queens. That's why they're used so heavily in mythology, is because you're supposed to be ruling over your own kingdom. It's a call towards self-sovereignty, not that you should, literally be a king or a queen or anything like that. But I feel like in the month of June, you're going to get a lot of clarity about this, because there's something here. It's like you don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. You've definitely built something up here and you want to go in and be very precise. And maybe some of you guys, like, you are wanting to defend something. You're wanting to cut through things and you're wanting to defend something. I can only keep echoing, like, not to be drawn into something. I'm hearing, let them bring the fight to you. I don't know if that resonates with anyone, but at least in the month of June, because I feel like if you just focus on your responsibilities, your daily activities, your routine, tending to the things that you need to tend to, there's going to be something about that energy that A, frees up your creativity, and B, like, it also might highlight some kind of strengths and weaknesses. It also could highlight, there's something here about like when you heal your own inner wounds, it's something about your external enemies as well. Like, I don't know, it's like they cease to have any impact on you or something. Because a lot of you guys, like, you are dealing with, maybe this is a marriage. Like, if you are married, you could be having some kind of arguments or fights or something in the month of June, just giving you a heads up. Because I feel like some of you can like even prepare for that. Maybe some of you are having to teach even your spouse something, or when it comes to tradition. But there is like, a lot of you could be experiencing this in a workplace, in some kind of institution or building that has a hierarchical model, because you're wanting to be a leader. At least you're wanting to be a different kind of leader, and you're considering the next moves that you're going to make towards that, so that you can really actualize your dreams in the material world. And you're going to have some kind of opportunity now. It's there's something here about balancing all your energies, like of giving and taking. You can only like give from a full cup. And it's like, you don't have to do everything all at one time, Yeah. What it's telling you to move away from is this vampiric energy. Like, I'm literally hearing the haters. Just move away from the haters, move away from the vampires, people who are draining your life force. And also, it's like the shadow attribute, chronic complaining and codependency. So you can definitely move away from this. Some of you guys, maybe you feel like there's something to do with children, where you're afraid of how something's going to affect children. You're also wanting to bring your life into some kind of a balance. So there's a lot going on here, pile number one, in the month of June. And it feels like it's definitely a link between your internal world and your external world. And I know it sounds cheesy, and everyone spiritual says this all the time, but they only do because it's true. If everything comes from within. So if you are really keeping your emotions steady and stable, and you're not like really worried about what a lot of people are thinking, you're not focused on like those very specific wins and things like that. You go into everything, like the 4 agreements. You go into everything and you give your best. Now, your best is going to depend on so many different variables and factors, whether or not you're feeling sick, whether or not you got very much sleep last night. But if you just give your best, then that really should be enough, and it's going to lead to the best possible result. You don't have to make yourself crazy about it. So that's really what I'm getting. So overall, your soul focus is definitely in the material world. It's on some kind of if you're making a big financial decision in the month of June, it's definitely on that, because your soul wants to give you a really solid foundation from which to like springboard into the world. Springboard's definitely the wrong word, because this looks like a slow burn. It looks like something that you're going to be really building up to. you're building something here in the material world, and it is like slow and steady wins the race. It's slow going. You don't have to do everything here overnight, even though you could be feeling stressed to do that here with the Knight of Swords. And I feel like there's some kind of argumentative energy where you could be very much wanting to argue with people. Now, there's also going to be like a huge theme of reflection, and with all this retrograde energy, any themes that you dealt with like towards the beginning of the year, like from now, like to the beginning of the year, then you're probably going to be revisiting those themes. So if any of them were really big or like particularly, noteworthy, then I feel like keep that in mind, because you're probably going to be revisiting that theme. It's just, I feel like it's going to have a tie to maybe your finances or the material world here in one way or another. And so just kind of keep an eye out for that. I feel like you almost sense this, and or you know this because you follow the astrology yourself. But and then you're taking that and you're really considering like your long term. Some of you guys, like, you really want like children. Some of you, this could be leaving a home situation. Okay, so there are situations that are involved in this that, or I'm sorry, not situations, but there are different variables that are involved in this that you might not, that you're unaware of. The wheel is going to turn. So it's saying to wait. I feel like that's why there's this kind of waiting energy to June. Until something could, I don't know if there's like a party or a celebration, or if there's something that's happening, you're going to get some kind of more information. You're going to notice something sneaky going on. Yeah. You could definitely notice something. Wow. Interesting. I don't know if you're traveling home or, you're going to notice something when you travel somewhere. And it's telling you to be like very objective. I think it could possibly make you sad, but it is going to be a wake-up call. And I feel like, you're going to retreat here into yourself, and it's going to feel like maybe there's no way to win. But you do have some kind of skills, and it's like the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. I know this is very specific, but that's really what I'm getting. So there's something here that you're unaware of, and I do feel like the wheel is going to turn here in, and it feels like this is a turning point here for you, pile number 1, honestly. So I don't know if any of that made any sense. I'm not sure. Some of you, like, you're looking to change your public perception, your identity in some way, from somebody very fun, lighthearted, very cutesy, to someone who has like a little bit of gravity to them, who is, and I feel like you do want to share your experience. And for some of you guys, it's linked to your past, and it is linked very much to like, 8th house issues, all those issues that we want to bury and not look at. Maybe this even some of you, like, Cancer deals with education. Maybe some of you are wanting to work with a therapist, or you want to go back to school and get your education for that. This could be a big career move, a big change, in whatever this is. But I feel like you do have some options that are coming through. Yeah, maybe even in regards to like a partner, a business partner. But in the month of June, I feel like, because like there's something about give and take energy that's just going to be off. Maybe you're going to feel off kilter, and that's what's leading to your confusion. So maybe as we move into like more July, August with this Leo energy up here, then you are going to gain some kind of clarity. Your way will be clear, and this is the Courage card. So then it'll be more about courage. So it's like in the month of June, I feel like maybe you're protecting your energy, you're lying in wait, you're protecting your home life, you're protecting your family, in whatever ways you can here. You're focused on your freedom, but freedom to you means happiness of like the heart. I feel like you're considering themes of family, and especially children, maybe a home. And there is some kind of big financial move that I feel like you're considering making. But you're trying to balance out the scales here, because some of you, maybe you have been feeling really drained. And with the Ace of Swords, I feel like you are ready to start a new beginning. You're being very clear about this. And what is this? Oof. There's a lot of moon in Taurus energy, but the moon exalts in Taurus, but the moon, it exalts in Critica, and Critica can be kind of an unpredictable energy. I feel like you guys are wanting to purify something. It has to do with family, it has to do with tradition, or it has to do with like a hierarchical work environment where you're wanting to just be an orphan. There's orphan energy written all over this here as well too, where you just feel alone. You're wanting to cut away from something. And some of you guys, there could even be gossip that's going on. I just wouldn't worry. Don't worry about the haters. Yeah, don't worry about the haters. Follow your passion, speak your voice, speak your truth, purify something. It looks like there's some kind of dispute that's going on here. Anyways, there's a lot here, and this is a general reading because I'm really getting, like, for some of you guys, this is happening. It's always, I feel like, grounded in finances or assets or something like that. But for more, some of you guys are going to deal with this more on a home front. For others of you, this is more public or it's more work stuff. But yeah, that's really what I'm getting. So anyways, that's what I have for you guys. Pile number 1. If that resonated, please like, comment, and subscribe. Bye, guys. Okay, pile number 2. I was going to say if you vibed with pile number 1 that you might want to check out that pile, but this is actually looking to be a pretty substantial message just in of itself. So just, I don't know, do whatever you want to do. But pile number 1's message was more specific, whereas this message wants to come out more general and more philosophic is what I want to say, and also like very much direct and straight to the heart of the matter. Because I feel like what your soul wants you to focus on in the month of June is courage, yes, but it's like the courage of your selfhood, your own individuality, fully being seen, fully communicating yourself in a way that's like very much unencumbered. Because I feel like some of you guys, you're coming across some kind of blockage here in your life. And I want to say, I feel for most of you, this is in an acute area of your life. It's not broad. It's not everywhere. You're not hitting a huge wall in every single aspect of your life. For most of you, this has a very specific expression in a very specific area of your life. Because I can see you're strong people. Like you're showing up like as the King of Pentacles. You're showing up as someone who is very stable, very accomplished, probably very well off in the material world. Someone who is, there's something coming through about your skill set, and it's not like a specific skill set. It's more like you're very adaptable in your skill set in order to be able to achieve whatever it is that you want to happen here in the material world. People are seeing you with a lot of admiration, and more than that, people are seeing you as someone who's very generous, like very loving, very abundant, very giving. This is the type of energy that likes to have people to the house. You like to have people to the house. You want them to eat finger sandwiches because it brings you genuine joy and happiness. But again, more than that. Pile number 2. Okay, I think there's a song by the Backstreet Boys called More Than That. I keep saying More Than That, so maybe some of you want to listen to that song. But what I feel like is more than this, and maybe this is why it's all about balance and bringing yourself into balance here, because more than that, I feel like this is a need. It's expressing itself as a need. The 2 of Pentacles is Moon and Libra energy, and the Moon is always the place in our zodiac charts and in ourselves where we can feel needy, but we feel nurtured. So it brings you a genuine sense of nurturing in order to be able to provide something for someone. I heard that they can't provide for themselves. I don't know. You like to share. You like to share the wealth. You like to share the abundance. And most of the time, that's really not a problem for you because you got it. You're always giving from a cup that runneth over. And I feel like a lot of you guys, that feels like it compounds your blessings. We've been getting this energy on the channel here a lot. The problem is that sometimes I feel like it does go too far. where it feels like you're negotiating the power of your own spirit, and it gets really sticky in a situation like this. And I'm going to do my best to describe this, but because it feels like love to you. You're registering it as love. Okay, so, oh man, how do I describe this? Okay, some of you guys could be anxious, preoccupied attachment style. You could resonate with that. Or you could be fearful, avoidant, because that's the switch hitter of the insecure attachment styles. So like if you're around people or places that are more dismissive, avoidant, then you go more into that anxious like way of communicating with people. Now, some of you guys, okay, I'm so sorry. I'm about to be blunt, you guys. Family is like definitely being shown here. There's something where you feel like if you were to truly be yourself, there's a decision that you want to make actually. Pile number 2, that's what it is. There's a decision that you want to make for yourself. It could literally be one specific decision and that you want to make, and you want to, for one time in your life, not have to consider every single person, their mother, their dog, their fish, like everything, because you are the foundation for a lot of things. And I feel like most of the time, you guys, it does not mind. Like you don't mind. It doesn't matter because you got it. But there are certain places where it feels like maybe you don't. And also, okay, how am I trying to explain this? This is so hard. I feel like this could come from like early family environment. Some of you guys are sick to death of hearing me say that, but hear me out, because with the 10 of Pentacles, all of this centers around communication and the way that people communicated with you. Because I feel like some of you guys, either you come from families who are highly educated and they used, words. What the heck? They used words, sure, but they also used like fancy words. They were eloquent. They were very well spoken, and you were expected to be too. There was like a curated nature to the way that you were allowed to express yourself. Maybe even the people you were allowed to be around. That was also something that was bridled and restricted because it sent out a certain kind of message, But actually, you have very Aquarian values where you see value in a lot of people. And so if it's showing up as a harness is what it's showing up as. Anyways, like another thing, this could be like and or, because for some of you guys, also the language that was used in your house was very subtle, very critical, very manipulative, very detail oriented. And I don't know, it feels like almost like someone could out communicate you. And it sucked. I want to say like it sucked. And so now it's showing up in your life as this blockage. It's showing up in your life as like not being able to express whatever it is that you want that might be different or weird. Because for some of you guys, and I want to say this is a very lucid group of people, because I'm not going to sit here and say that you're wrong. Definitely not in the short term. For some of you guys, it's like, that if you were to express your true self and whatever you wanted, you would lose. You would lose out people. It feels like relationships. That's what it feels. Yeah. Like your circle would decrease. You don't want to be left out in the cold for breaking away from tradition here in some way, shape, or form. That's what it feels like, you guys. I'm so sorry. Like it's so much. But where it gets tricky for you is that sacrificial energy feels like love to you because you want to give. So it's like, okay, well, if I give of myself, if I negotiate the power of my own spirit, that is love because I'm providing something for someone. It's okay that I didn't get what I wanted out of the situation because at least I'm providing for someone else. And what sucks, and this is how I know you're good people, better the people than me, because what sucks is that I feel like you might even be able to name names of like the people around you that would no longer associate with you if you stopped negotiating the power of your spirit, if you stopped giving everything to them. You're the giver in a lot of relationships. That's what it feels like. If you stop doing that and you were like, actually, I don't like that. Actually, I'm going to do this. Actually, I want this. Actually, I feel this way about it. In like this one area of your life, if you did that, that certain relationships would fall away and it would make you sad. Because even though those people maybe are using you, you still love them. You guys are good people, pile number 2. You really are. But your soul is saying, let those people fall away. Okay, so also, I'm getting the scene in Talladega Nights. And I feel like some of you guys, like, you should watch Talladega Nights, like, as a part of your own spiritual growth, your own spiritual journey, because I feel like you're really resonating with the journey of Ricky Bobby. And, like, he has, like, this big breakdown point in his career and in his life where he loses everything, but then he, like, learns the power of his own selfhood. And there's a scene there where, he is talking with his assistant, Susan, and they fall in love. Yes, I love this movie. I used to fall asleep watching this movie when I was scared. Anyways, so he's talking with her and he opens the conversation by saying, everybody knows that you gotta win to get love. And he starts naming off all these people, right? All these people are like winning, they're succeeding, and all these people are loved. And she challenges him on that narrative. And she says, actually, you know, you got to drive for yourself. You got to drive because you love driving. And that's like the real win, or whatever she says, you know? And then through that, like, he puts himself first because he starts to realize that all the people that were around him, from the guy who owned the racing company to his own freaking wife, you know, like, at the end of the day, they were only using him. And that's what I want to say to you. And I know this is like going to suck and it's going to be hard, but I'm going to say it because it's actually making me very angry on your behalf, because some of you aren't angry enough, frankly, that this is happening. I get very protective. You're also showing up in my counterpart energy, Uttara Falguni. And that is the energy of people who are very chivalrous, very honorable, who try to be very noble, who believe in forwarding their own individual effort against anything, and who have very high standards for themselves. But a lot of times, because of that, they can associate with people with bad reputations, starting to make me very angry. So anyways, there's this quote, and this quote is the bane of my existence. I'm being dramatic, but because you can't even, people get this quote wrong. But the quote I want to talk about is, the love of money is the root of all evil. The quote is not that money is the root of all evil. And that's an important distinction, because I feel like, and this is maybe where that anxious attacher style comes in, of like, I'm going to always be by the punch bowl. I'm going to provide the punch bowl. I'm going to provide the spread because I'm adding value. We just had this in another reading, value added. These are the value added people. Like, I'm going to always add some kind of value. You know, I'm going to bring it with me. But the thing is, it's almost like you're tarring yourself and covering yourself in money, so that when people look at you, they see money. And so a lot of people are around you, smiling in your face, but they don't have a love for you, not a genuine love for you. They have a love for money. And I feel like that's a huge, I'm so sorry for being so blunt, pile number 2, but that's a huge fear for this pile. It is. Oh, it is. That's why you're the hero. I'm hearing that song, I Need a Hero. But some of you are trying to play the hero, but it's at the expense of your own self. And you're orphaning your own self. Oh my gosh. We get a lot of orphan energy on this channel, partly I think because I'm Kritika, but we get a lot of Kritika, a lot of Jesha, a lot of Vishaka energy. All that is orphan energy, feeling independent. There's so many ways to be orphaned, even if your parents were in your life, you know, and we're starting to have these conversations as a society, but that energy is definitely here where you felt that way. You felt orphaned. And I watch a lot of Thais Gibson on YouTube because your girl's on a healing journey herself. Okay. But, she's always like, she did this one about like elements of attraction, and we're attracted to people who can meet needs that we can't meet for ourselves, but also that mirror the way that we treat ourselves emotionally, especially. So for some of you guys, like, you're attracting people who are not really there for you emotionally. They don't care about you emotionally because you've been orphaning yourself in order to fulfill all these, oh my gosh, this is the genie. We've been getting this energy on the channel. It's like, poof, what do you need? Poof, what do you need? Poof, what do you need? That's not the life that your soul wants you to live, pile number 2. It is not. And you're scared that if you stop doing that, if you stop being a role, if you stop being a function and not a human being, I'm starting to get very angry on your behalf. Kritika, we're passionate crusaders. Plus, we're used to the orphan thing, so it doesn't actually matter to me. Some of you guys, like, maybe you felt like there's something about gossip here. My gosh. You learn to be a role. You learn to be a function and not a person. That makes me want to throat punch like a line of people. I've never done anything violent like that in my life, except my sister and I would wrestle, but that's different. Oh my gosh, I hate this for you. So, like, what I'm seeing is that your soul focus for June goes way beyond June, first of all. And I feel like it's kind of imperative, because for some of you guys, there's going to be a clarity that's going to come in July. If you start practicing the skill set, if you start to, even in little ways, you know, like, okay, maybe this is bad advice, but, you know, I feel like a lot of you guys are super accommodating. So you'll be like, babe, what do you want for dinner? Don't do that. Just go get Chinese if that's what you want, or go get Mexican food. Whatever it is that you want, don't ask. Like, just, I don't know, maybe that's rude, but just try it in the month of June. Just try it and see how you feel. Where you're like, hey, Chinese is for dinner tonight, you know, or whatever. I'm hungry. and just see how you feel. It's going to give you some kind of honest feedback. And I do feel like if you do this, if you focus on this for yourself in the month of June, there's something that's going to happen in July. It's going to click into place, especially if you guys have been experiencing some kind of confusion around a situation, because I'm telling you that's man-made, and you're the man or you're the woman that made it by denying your own selfhood. Because it's like, once you start to understand your own feelings around a situation, you start letting that flow. Like, oh, I'm in love with that person, or oh, I'm only doing this job because I'm scared of Billy, whatever it is. Then all of a sudden you're going to have an aha moment with the Ace of Wands. Like, it's coming in. And all of a sudden I feel like you're going to have a burst. Like, it's almost like a dam bursting through, where you're going to have, things are going to make sense. You're going to click into place. And you're going to you're going to feel, for once in your life, maybe not for once in your life. You guys look very accomplished, honestly. This feels weird to be like giving you guys such a hard time, because nobody's just like, maybe that's why you're at my channel, because I will do it. This has been my own spiritual journey. I got to speak truth to power. So, and like, honestly, not like my whole life I've lived in like rich communities, but been treated kind of bad. That's a pattern that I have. So I kind of don't care, because of the things I've seen people do. But trying to act like they're like above people. And I'm like, that is garbage behavior. Maybe you've seen a lot of those things, pile number 2. So yeah, what's coming through here is like, this is all about self-expression and expressing your heart. And I feel like it's in a particular area of your life, like your career, or in your family, where it's like, actually, I'm this person. Because some of you literally are afraid that you're not going to get invited to like Thanksgiving. Ugh. And it's like, they're relying, you're the hinge, pile number 2. They're relying on you to be the hinge. You're what's keeping everything together. They've already dropped their responsibilities when it comes to you. What happens when you break, pile number 2? That's what I want to know. What happens when you go? Do you have people around you that love you for who you are and they're going to start taking care of you? Or do you have people who are going to bail? Oh, I'm starting to get mad. Look, we got thief energy here. Sheds light on the potential wealth within you that can never be stolen. And you also have people around you who are stealing money, creative ideas, affection, or other powers you think you lack. You don't, like some of you guys, it's like you're associating yourself with people who maybe have bad reputations, bad track records, where you can literally be like, 3's a pattern. I see that pattern. And yet here I am, like, something like that in your life. Oh my gosh, we've got the mother card at the bottom. I knew it. Some of you guys have a very manipulative mother or mother figure in your life. Smothering or abandoning children, instilling guilt in children for becoming independent. Yeah, some of you guys want to become independent. You just have all these fears around it because you've just been told that you are an ATM. That is the function you serve. Keep serving it and we'll love you. But I got to tell you, that's not love. That's already not love. So that person can take a hike. I am so mad. Anyway, but I do want to say, like, you're not delusional. You guys are very firmly, like, you're aware. You pick up on a lot of stuff because the 7 of Wands and the 5 of Swords, this is conflict energy. So if you express this. Some of you, this is like who you love, how you want to love. If you express that, it's going to be a fight. Or you're going to lose people. And you feel like you're going to be put on the defense and you're going to have to stand your ground. But I see you standing your ground in the future. Ooh, even though it's painful with this moon card energy. But eventually you get to this Queen of Wands. And fire energy is attractive. And I don't just mean physically. I mean it's magnetic. It pulls things into it. That's why we all go around the sun. That's why we're all supposed to be the sun, is because it pulls the right people around you. Where Leo rules the sign of your enemies. And, Virgo rules the sign of your enemies. So there's something where if you curate yourself too much, pile number 2, you're going to pull the wrong people around you. And then you're giving all this beautiful, wonderful love away to the wrong people. That's furthering the wrong causes out in the world. Ooh, this is a tough message. I hope you still love me after this reading, pile number 2. In a way, this is my pile because I had to just put out there what I'm seeing. In a way, yeah, that's helpful. So also that's another lesson that I'm learning for myself is that you don't know where things are going. You don't know how things are going to go out. And like a lot of times if you try to control a situation based on your own limited human perspective, no matter how talented or smart we are, we only can have like that human perspective. You don't know how the universe is playing its own chess game, trying to move pieces around, that bring things into enlightenment. And you guys are so well regarded that if you did it, it would be very freeing to a lot of people. Be painful. It would be painful. And I don't want to lie to you about that. something you should go in eyes wide open. So that's what I have for you guys, pile number 2. If that resonated, please like, comment, and subscribe. But keep in mind, I think something's coming at you in the month of July or August. And this thing, it's going to be very enlightening. It could really change your life if you are able to pick up on it. And you'll be able to see it and recognize it for what it is if you practice in June. That's what I want to say. So I'm sorry this was so long and preachy, but I hate the people you have around you. I know you love them, so let me stop saying that. I'm just wounded in similar ways. So anyways, that's what I got for you guys, pile number 2. I love you wherever you are. Seriously, lately we've been having some really deep messages, and I feel honest to God connected to all of you. I hope we meet each other in every single life, and we continue to help each other try and grow and advance. And I'm so rooting for you, pile number 2. I really, really am. I hope you hear the love in my voice, because I'm really feeling it right now. So anyways, that's what I have for you guys. Please take care of yourselves. Bye. Okay, pile number 3. What is your soul focus for the month of June? That's about the only thing that is like coming through clear for me here in this reading, because there seems to be some kind of waiting game that you're playing. Not that you're playing, but you're subject to some kind of waiting in the month of June. So some of you're waiting for July, some of you're waiting for Virgo season in August or September. Yeah, and so your soul focus is waiting, and it's waiting well. And I feel like it's about bringing yourself, especially your own internal state, into some kind of balance, especially with your more logical side and your creative side, your intellect and your intuition. And allowing those two sides to really balance one another out. Because maybe some of you are more in one element and others of you are more in another element. But yeah, it's really asking you to bring yourself into balance internally and to wait something out here, because timing is really important for you in the month of June. And for whatever situation that you find yourself dealing with, it feels big. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4. You've got 5 major arcana cards that are coming through here. And major arcana always deals with like really big soul changes. And, 4 of these 5 cards deal with some kind of transformation energy, some kind of big transformation. But it feels like that has more happened here in the past. But there's a lag. It's almost like there's like reverberations or something that's leaking into this present moment. And this could be in any number of situations. Because for some of you guys, I feel like it's really just as simple as like you're waiting to go on vacation. I can see in the month of June, you guys are feeling stuck though. You're feeling stuck, you're feeling stagnant, and some of you guys are feeling alone. Because there's like wanting to reconcile with someone or travel to someone. There's that energy that's kind of here. But again, it feels like you're playing a waiting game because it's all about the details. It's all about timing. some of you, okay, so I just want to say the scenarios that I'm getting here, but I just want to clarify that the strongest message I'm getting is that your soul focus for the month of June is waiting and waiting well and balancing out your intellect, your intuition, your creative ability in order to do that in whatever way you see fit. Because I can see that, yeah, like some of you guys, you're feeling stuck, stagnant. Some of you are in workaholic energy, but it's like you see the light at the end of the tunnel. With 2 aces here, Elizabeth Hazel calls that energy, you really want a change of pace and a change of place, which to me screams of a vacation. And especially coming out here with the Knight of Swords, some of you could have a timeshare, some kind of a vacation home, or something that you're really looking forward to going to. And it's like, you're almost there. The light is there at the end of the tunnel, but you want it to happen a lot sooner than it is happening. But you're going to get your wish. You're going to get your wish fulfillment here. So, and honestly, the Nine of Cups is such a beautiful energy. I feel like this is contentment. It's feeling satisfied. Some of you guys, like, you're going to relax, possibly near the ocean. You're going to have some drinks. You're going to be in the sunshine. Yes. But there's just a waiting, there's just a lag. And so it's almost this fake it till you make it energy that's coming through. Because some of you guys are concerned that maybe your colleagues or people that are around you can sense that you're in this very antsy energy, or that you're feeling kind of checked out, or maybe even just like burnt out or overworked here. And if that's the case, if you're worried about that, I can tell you, like, no, nobody's seeing that. They're seeing you in sun energy, which is the happiest card in the deck. They're seeing you as someone very warm and very lovely, all of that jazz. So another scenario this could be is you could be in a long distance relationship here with someone, and it's like approaching a time where either it's going to transform up to the next level or it's going to fizzle out. And I feel like maybe your intellectual mind wants to know, like maybe you're waiting on some kind of message, or you want some kind of clarity, because right now it feels like very much confused, especially with all this Pisces energy. I feel like that's why I'm struggling here with this reading. But, and some of you guys want to send a message to this person, or you want to receive a message from this person because you're not getting much out of this person. Even though you feel like there's some kind of strong love energy here, but it is telling you again to wait and to imagine like the different possibilities and possibly even manifest this, because there's hope in the future with this Knight of Pentacles. It is a wish fulfillment card. So some of you guys, like there's something to look forward to. You are going to get some kind of wish fulfillment. You could get a message. You could get some kind of clarity. You could travel to meet one another. It's just a matter of timing, Yeah, so that's another scenario. And another scenario is like some of you guys, okay, so there's announcement energy here. You could be postponing and announcing something, and it could be the dissolution of a relationship. That's probably romantic. And it feels like, again, you're waiting for the right time. And that time could be July. It could be Leo season into Virgo season. You could be waiting for a birthday, or some kind of clarity, waiting to sort things out. And it's like all you want to do is just announce it. But there is something here that is served by taking your time. And also by being single, because some of you guys, maybe you have met someone new or you're interested in someone new, but it's saying here with this Virgin energy, maintaining symbolic purity of heart and spirit. But like the Virgin is like oftentimes a single, all my single ladies with Beyonce. So maybe you want to listen to that song, or maybe you're a single ladies, but it's best to like wait. I feel like for whatever reason, I'm not really... This reading is honestly very confusing for me. Pile number 3. Yeah. And some of you guys, it's a situation where you are maybe you're living with someone until you make this announcement, until there is a home frees up, till someone's like able to rent a house or something, until something. It feels like you're waiting for like just this right time. And it also, if that's the case, if you're living with someone and there's like marital discord there, your advice is to pull your energy more internal. And you could be afraid that that's going to like cause this person to flare out more, but it is like, I think that's the best case scenario here. So those are just a few scenarios that you could find yourself in. All of them have one thing in common, and that is that you're playing some kind of waiting game, and your soul focus is learning how to do that well, and possibly using this as a practice time for building up your imagination, for tuning in like to your own spiritual guidance here. Yeah. Okay. Another thing is like there is strong transformation energy that's happened here in the past. So for some of you, there's money involved, like a big amount of money. And maybe you are thinking like there's some kind of loss or something. This really could be like a will. Um, that you're waiting to hear back on. There could be some kind of bureaucratic process that you're wanting some message to come through, some kind of clarity. But at the same time, I feel like there's something about your energy that knows that the timing is off because you don't want to get information that you then can't turn around and do something about. And it feels like your time or your energy or something's going to free up in July or Virgo season. And maybe that is just all the retrograde energy where, you know, Mercury, Saturn, and Pluto are all going to be in retrograde during June at some points. So maybe that's why I feel like it's telling you to trust your intellect as well as your intuition, because something here about communication and messaging could be off. So interesting. I do feel like there's comforting energy around you. Some of you, like I said, this could be a new relationship, or there's somebody around you. It feels like they're on your team, where there's like a mutual support and flow, a similar vision that's going on around you. It just feels like you've got to wait before you can execute this. So what it's telling you to lean away from is this night energy, allegiance to a destructive ruler or principle, romantic delusions, but also loyalty, romance, and chivalry, a love of honor. Yeah, so, yeah, some of you are called into having some kind of a release. And I feel like some of you guys, I'm so sorry to say this to you, I feel like some of you guys are like really frustrated in a certain specific way I don't think I can say on YouTube. Yeah, maybe that's like a part of it. But you get a wish fulfillment coming in the future. Yeah. I wonder if there's anything else I can say. So your soul focus is waiting, and it's balance. And I'm getting that song Imagine by Ariana Grande. Can you imagine it? So I feel like the deeper I go into this reading, the more confused I get. But one thing is very clear, that your soul focus is waiting well, and possibly using your imagination in order to do that. So to see in what way. Oh my gosh, Knight of Swords energy twice. Some of you are so excited to travel. Yeah, like it's just telling you to think of better days and what you're going to do with yourself when you finally get there. Some of you really want to go to the ocean. So, yeah, that's what I have for you guys, pile number 3. I hope that was helpful. It didn't feel helpful on my end, but I would love to know if it resonated. And if it did, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Bye, guys.